It's an abuse of the system.
Taxpayer advocate Andrea Vecchio is talking about a practice called double dipping. That's when a public employee retires and collects a pension and then goes back to work for a school or another taxpayer-funded agency and collects a paycheck at the same time. While some may object to it right now, it's not illegal.
It's intended to be a pension for your golden years that you can go off into the sunset and let somebody else have a chance.
Newsday analyzed payroll data for all 124 school districts on the island and compared that to the state pension database. What we found were hundreds of retired educators still working for school districts.
We hear about it in government a lot. We don't really hear about it in school districts as much. So I wanted to just get an understanding of how often it was occurring.
I don't blame the school districts, and I don't blame the people who are trying to exploit the system, but they are exploiting the system. The system was not set up with this in mind.
Here's an example in the Mount Sinai School District. 3 administrators, Linda Jensen, Matt Dyroff, and Scott Ray, were allowed to technically retire in 2022 and start collecting a pension. But in reality, they never left their jobs. Instead, they cut a 1-year deal to keep working. Those administrators earned between $198,000 and $240,000 in the last school year in salary. At the same time, they collected pensions worth between $137,000 and $189,000 a year.
It's only in the public sector that that's an issue.
Dr. Christine Crescioni is the superintendent of Mount Sinai Schools.
Having that institutional knowledge, people who've worked for the district for many, many years, some of them 30 to 40 years, people who are dedicated to the district, doing multiple jobs, that would have been very difficult for us to replace at that time.
None of the Mount Sinai district employees mentioned returned messages seeking comment. Before the pandemic, districts were sometimes required to get a waiver in order to rehire a retired employee. State lawmakers will decide next year if they're going to re-implement that policy, which could make it tougher to double dip. For Newsday TV, I'm Shari Einhorn.